My name is Guido Van Helten and I'm from Brisbane in Australia. And yeah, the past few years I've been making, practicing large-scale murals, but that's kept me pretty much constantly traveling and not much in Australia, but you know, traveling around Europe and America and making big murals. Yeah, so I started painting graffiti when I was about 14 years old, and that was a whole practice for me that lasted about 10 years really. I painted until I was 24, and then I slowly started to make this transition into murals. So that was a very hard step to make because my whole style was wrapped up in the graffiti style and the graffiti culture. So switching into painting was a hard step because I was pretty lost at the start. I didn't know what I would paint. I didn't have any idea because I was so used to replicating this style and pattern and theme. So that's kind of what led me to photography through that journey, because I was a bit, you know, I was always lost about what I would paint. So finding photographs to paint that weren't mine originally, and then slowly starting to transition into getting a camera and taking my own photographs was a pretty key step. So that led me on that journey and that practice as well. I guess because at the start there I was obviously working from photographs, but they were more impressionistic, let's say, just because of my skill level. So plus the medium changed, you know, and I used to use spray paint, so that in itself has a different look and a different aesthetic. So the journey towards now the work becoming more and more photo real, I guess, is just by accident, you know. It's just because now I'm able to replicate that image more accurately, and it's not really my intention, you know. And I think close up the work really falls apart and you can see those marks, but together with the scale and the distance that you get from a wall, it gives the effect of a photograph almost, you know. So sometimes I find that that's not my intention. So I do enjoy when, particularly with this wall at the bottom, it starts to fall apart a bit and you see those paint marks and the flow of the paint coming down. And I think that's why this wall is special for me, because that just comes from necessity of time and speed, and you see the flow there. And yeah, I think that what's interesting about how I work is that I always feel very lost at the start. I don't know what I'm gonna make. I come here with a completely blank slate, and then that really leaves me open to everything, and really keeps me in those first few days really with my eyes open, watching and trying to find something. And often, yeah, the time is important there too. So I'm really searching, and you feel that that urgency, you know, for something to stand out to you. And in Patras, it was just street photography. I just started with street photography. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna see what comes to me. And I started to find, with the way that the architecture of the street here is set up, with the overhead columns and the way that the streets are set up, to me that was unique. You know, it seems very unique, and they allow for a lot of different textures, and they also show a lot of different history. The way that some columns are new and some columns are old, and the streets are often mismatched, and as well as that, the light comes through these columns and it shines on people, and that's what was really standing out to me with the photography. So I really just felt that public space as an overall theme, which I was searching for at the start, really comes together through street photography quite simply, you know, and that's why that's what it is, you know. It's trying to show the way here in Patras the streets have a lot of perspective, and you can see the life, you can see the different streets, you can see the sea at one end and you can see the mountains on the other, and all of these things were going through my mind. But in the end, I wanted to simply show that, you know, the way that you see people walking. And I feel that here, public space was my initial concept point, but how to show that, you know, and how to show that subtly without being too obvious, that was another thing. So simply the act of going out and taking street photography and letting the image come to me naturally was a really key part of that. So I find that there's a lot to unpack about public space in every country, but in Greece, having a specific role in the democracy and the whole history of that was interesting. So from what I've read, you know, the way that public space allows you to interact with people and show other people, kind of forces you to integrate with the community. So I like that, how yeah, in the way that you shuffle down these pathways, you're coming past everyone all day long, and I think that's really key. I wouldn't know because I don't paint indoors usually. All my painting style has really come from my interest in graffiti. When I go outside, that's when I go to paint, you know, and when I'm in the public space, that's when I'm painting. I'm not painting, I've never really painted inside. I don't feel the urgency to finish. I have no, it doesn't show any, it doesn't give me any energy for some reason. When I'm outside and I feel the elements and I hear the noise of the street and the time ticking away, I need to get this done, and that's always what's pushed me to get everything done. And that goes all the way back to the process of graffiti, you know.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. It really forces the public to interact with art, and I think that's why I like this theme, because yeah, when you see these people on this wall walking and you come from down the street and you are, it's really showing this on a large scale and you can't miss it. So I like this street because yeah, you're coming into the city or coming out of the city, but you can see the way that the street's going down and into the center, and she's coming out. So I feel that yeah, conceptually it makes sense, you know, to really, yeah. I've really been looking forward to coming here for like 2 years since I've been speaking with you. So I was really, I didn't know what to expect at first, and I started to look more as it came closer to the date, and I was like, wow, this place seems you know, really fun. But I had no idea when I arrived the amount of people I saw in the street, especially this time, and traveling the world at this time, it's not often you see that. So I feel that like the life here, it's not possible to contain it inside, you know. People are out there in the street and in the squares, and they're talking and hanging out, and I think that's really special. I think that it's pretty unique at this time, but probably in a lot of countries, to have so much street life, you know, and I love that about it, and that's why yeah, I was led to this inspiration. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to coming here for like 2 years since I've been speaking with you. So I was really, I didn't know what to expect at first, and I started to look more as it came closer to the date, and I was like, wow, this place seems you know, really fun. But I had no idea when I arrived the amount of people I saw in the street, especially this time, and traveling the world at this time, it's not often you see that. So I feel that like the life here, it's not possible to contain it inside, you know. People are out there in the street and in the squares, and they're talking and hanging out, and I think that's really special. I think that it's pretty unique at this time, but probably in a lot of countries, to have so much street life, you know, and I love that about it. And that's why, yeah, I was led to this inspiration. But yeah, so it's just been a it's been really awesome to participate. And I yeah, as I said, I've been looking forward to it for years. So I've really tried to do it justice, you know, as much as I could within the time we had. So it's difficult. It was very difficult to work in this situation here at this gas station with in such a spot. But those things always keep the memory in my mind of the whole process, you know. You don't remember the pain, you know, you just remember this end result, and you look back on that. It's all about the journey, you know, the making a painting. But yeah, it's been really fun.